Hi everyone. Okay, so we are on tip 8 of 10. Top tip number 8. If you haven't seen tips 1 to 7, please go and watch those. If it's something that you are enjoying, please like, subscribe. Tell me what you would like more information on, more help with. More information on, if you want some more support on something, if you want me to do a video on something in particular, then please just let me know. Okay, so tip number 8. This is always a really personal one, and I generally prepare something roughly to speak about, but I haven't with this one because it is such a personal thing. So, stress. Now, I know, because I've been there myself, that the first thing people are going to say when I say don't stress, they're like, oh well, of course I'm going to stress, we're trying to get pregnant, we're trying for a baby, it's been however long and it's not happening. So I understand that, but stress has really negative impact on us, on our bodies, on our hormones. Our hormones get completely out of whack, our cycles get out of whack. Stress can cause problems with our ovulation and releasing our egg. So it's a really hard thing to deal with, and it's a really hard thing to not stress. But if you've watched tips 1 to 7, you'll know that I'm all about small manageable changes. So you're not going to go from being completely stressed out about not conceiving and however long it's been for you and whatever diagnosis you have and all of that, to flicking a switch and all of a sudden you're not going to be stressed anymore. That's not going to happen, and that certainly didn't happen with me. It took a long time, it took a lot of patience, and it took a lot of work on myself. So it's going to be a shorter one today because this is really on you and how you do things. So I can tell people what to eat, what not to eat, and explain to them why. I can give people advice on things that will help them with their stress or to de-stress, but there's only you that can implement that. There's only you that can go and implement a diet, but it's almost like someone's doing 50% and you've got to do the other. Whereas with this, I can give you all the information. I can give you information about your subconscious mind, how it works, all of that. But I know it's one of the harder things to implement, which is why we're leaving some of the harder things to the end. So it's not going to be something that by tip 10 you're going to have mastered. It's going to be an ongoing process. So my sort of pearls of wisdom when it comes to stress is write down everything that's bothering you. So I don't just mean with your fertility, with conceiving, with diagnosis, with pregnancy, or whatever stage you're at. I don't mean with that, I mean anything. So work, university, family, friends, relationships, yourself, your health, mindset. I don't know, is there something you want doing in your house, for example, that you've wanted doing for ages and you keep saying I'll get round to it, or I don't know, is there whatever's bothering you. So write it all down and categorise things into 1, 2 and 3. So category 1 is things that you can change now. So if category 1 for me is generally something, as much as I don't like doing it, I've just been for an hour's walk because that's my exercise that I don't mind too much. Put my headphones in and get on with it. So I need to exercise more. So I can make an immediate change and I know what I'm going to do, is category 1. Category 2 is I either need to find out what to do, or I know what I can do, but I need to either buy something. So if it's redecorating a room, unless you happen to just have the stuff there, you probably can't just go and do it. So that's going to be category 2. So you know what you need to do, but you need to go and get something, you need some time to prepare, or you need to research what you need to do, but it's going to be quite easily done or easily fixed. Category 3 is things that we have no control over. And I mean as in no control over. So no control, whether it be financially, in yourself, whatever. So on my list, my number 3 would have been getting pregnant, because I felt that I just had no control over it. And this is something I ask my clients to do when they start the program with me, categorise how you feel over things. And we do it slightly differently about emotions and how you feel over things. But generally people categorise trying to conceive and their fertility and infertility and diagnosis and their journey as number 3. They've got no control over it. So I want you to go away and do that. So category 1, you can do something right away. You know what you need to do. You can make that change today. So if it's exercise, you can do it. If you've got some trainers in the cupboard, you can go and do it if you've got the time. If it's diet and you've got some healthier food in the fridge, or you can go to the supermarket, you can implement that. That's category 1. Category 2 is something that you know you can implement soonish, but you just need to either get something or do a little bit of research, or if it's exercise and you've got no trainers, you need to get some trainers or whatever. Category 3 is hopeless, I've got no control over it, I don't even know where to start. Nothing's going to make this any better. So categorise it. And then what I want you to do is tomorrow, have a look and do something off the list of category 1. So do something off category 1 because you've said that you can do that straight away. Do one action for something in category 2. So I'm not saying do them all. You can definitely do something category 1 because you've said so. Make some action to make category 2 possible. So one thing off your list in category 2. And category 3, I want you to write a separate list for category 3 that you've got no control over. And I'm going to talk obviously about the fertility side of it because I'm a fertility coach. That's what I'm going to do. But this can be in anything. So, for example, with the fertility, if it's that I'm not getting pregnant, if you've watched tips 1 to 7, you'll know I'm all about building your book and making this book about you and knowing your chapters. So, if it's fertility and that you can't get pregnant or whatever it may be, which is where I was at, what could I actually do? It's impossible. So the day before, it's absolutely impossible. Nothing I can do about it. Okay, so this is where it's good to go back and look at videos. What can you do? So go back and have a look at your chapters. What do you know about yourself? Because you can do something. You can absolutely always do something. Have you implemented steps 1 to 7? What have you taken from that? Have you changed anything in your diet? Have you started with ovulation kits? Have you started with monitoring your cervical mucus? So are you monitoring your cervical mucus? Are you monitoring your temperature? If you weren't doing those things, that's a change that you can do right now. So that straight away is going to fall into category 2, because maybe you haven't got a temperature, a thermometer to take your temperature, but you can order one. So that straight away takes that bit of category 3 into category 2, because you can do something, you just need to implement a change. If it's that you don't know much about your diagnosis, okay, well that can be moved into category 2 because you can spend the time looking at that. You can buy a book, you can look online, you can do something. If it's that you are struggling with sleep, with diet, with anything linked to your fertility, you can do things. If it's that, for example, I'm going to use this one because I know that we're living in a worrying time at the moment and people's finances are being affected. If it's finances that are in category 3 and you feel like, oh my God, it's just hopeless, I don't know what we're going to do, and you are in the position that income's being affected, obviously I know that's happening a lot because of furlough and redundancies and things like that, make another list. So 3, we feel hopeless. Okay, what can we do? What do we need to do? What can we cut back on? Who can we speak to? What can we do? There is always something to do. And before you know it, you'll be surprised at how many things, and obviously I can't talk personally to you on this because I don't know what's going to be on your list. So I have to sort of, generalise people's lists or what mine would have been. So you'll be surprised though at how many things you can generally get from category 3, feeling hopeless, don't know what to do, there's nothing I can do about it, into category 2. And whilst, yes, that may not get you pregnant overnight and that may not solve your infertility overnight, you're going to be in a better position than you were yesterday. If it's about money, that may not get you £1 million lottery win tonight, but it may take some of the stress off so you sleep a little bit better tonight and you feel like you've got some direction. So you can move things forward all the time. And generally when I start to speak to people in the coaching programs that I do, most people probably have between 3 and 5 things in category 3. And by the end of it, some people have none, but the most that someone's ever been left with was they started with 5 things in category 3 and they finished with 2 things. One of which was moving into another category shortly. They were just waiting on something. So really have a look at, are you getting stressed out because absolutely nothing can be done about a situation? Which, if so, have a look at what things you can do to de-stress. So walking really helps me. Put some music on, the world tends to disappear and I just get in my own head and tend to sort things out. For me, walking's really good. I come up with business things, I think about things I'm going to do, I think about my life, I reflect on things. But in a good way. I don't sit at home for that hour and start to get myself down. So have a think about what you can do. If you're stressing about things that can't change or can't change yet, then have a look about how you're going to de-stress. What can you do and when? Because there'll be something you can do at some point, whether it's that you need to save more money or improve your health, or you're waiting for a gynaecologist appointment, or you're waiting for a doctor's appointment. There'll be something. So in your category 3, make a note, because at some point that will move to category 2, always. If it's that you've stressed over all these things that you've put in category 3, and you think, actually, there is a lot more I can do. There's a lot more that I can do to move them into category 3. Some of them I can even actually move into category 1, but I just hadn't thought about it, or whatever it may be. You will notice the stress generally coming away from you anyway. And sometimes, no matter how bad a situation is, the fact that we've made a plan and we've made some small change and we've almost took the control and the power and the decisions back, that will help us. So for me, if you do follow me over on Facebook and Instagram, you'll know that I talk quite openly about me struggling with the lack of control. I felt like I had no control over my own life and my own journey. And then bam, it changed. And everyone always talks to me about what changed. And after I've done tip 10, that will be the next video that I'll be doing. And I'll talk about what changed from 4 years of not getting pregnant and miscarriage and failed IVF to what I changed to get that next cycle of IVF to work, to get myself in a good mind, to get myself in a good place, to get my relationship back in a good place, because we hadn't been in a great place, and I'm really open about that. So if it's something that you can make a change, do it. If you can't make the change now, write down what you can do and when you can do it. If you need to go and speak to someone, speak to someone. But do something each day on that list, and you'll be surprised at how many things can change category. And generally, when we start to stress over one thing, if you've watched tips 1 to 7, you'll see I'm all about the video, on all the videos, I'm all about the cycle and the circle, and we fall into this circle and it becomes repetitive. So we'll start to be stressing about our infertility and not being able to get pregnant, then we're stressing about money. Oh, well, maybe we probably need the money to help with the fertility. And then with me, it was like, oh, well, wait, I need to lose some weight. And then we were getting married and, it should be all lovely. And before I know it, I was in this vicious circle. And most people are in that circle. So the things all tend to link together. So separate them, sort out what you can, and make a plan. See what you can move into different categories and do something each day off the list. And all those things that will move from category 3 to 2 will eventually be in category 1. And the satisfaction that you get when you can scribble that out of category 1 and be like, yes, I've done that. I've got that knowledge now. I've paid that debt off. I've paid that bill. I've saved that money. I've booked that holiday. I've lost that weight. I've done my first, however, whatever your exercise goal may be. So start to do that, and it's amazing how, because we beat ourselves up, and that's where a lot of stress comes from, because we only remember the bad. If you've got a list of all the things and you can see them moving up the categories, you'll be amazed at the positivity that has on your mindset. So you have got control, and I truly believe that stress comes from no control. We stress about the things we have no control about, or we think we have no control about. So generally about stress, and I haven't spoke too generically about stress, because if you type in any search engine, what can I do to de-stress, it's going to tell you all the same things. Read a book, take a bath, have a spa day, go for a swim, go for a walk, do something you enjoy. You guys know all that. So I'm talking about our relationship with stress in our mind and what we think we can do and what we think we've got no control over. So this is tip 8. If you haven't watched tips 1 to 7, please go and watch them. Please subscribe. I'll be doing tip 9 and 10, and then, like I say, I'll be talking to you a little bit more about my journey and what changed for me, what led me to finally being able to get and stay pregnant with my daughter Remy. So take care, and I will speak to you tomorrow for tip 9.